My wife said I was overreacting when her brother threw peanuts at our son. He almost died. So I sued her entire family, took full custody, and now her old best friend sleeps in my bed. Hey Reddit, I don't usually post on here. I just scroll, read drama, and mind my business. But things at home went so sideways, I honestly didn't know where else to drop this. I, 38 male, run logistics and operations for a freight distribution company just outside Columbus. I've been doing it since I was 24. Climbed up from loading dock to shift lead to site manager. Now I handle routing, procurement, and inventory for the entire facility. It's nothing fancy, but it keeps my kid fed, the mortgage paid, and I'm not answering to some suit with an MBA who's never worked a forklift. Life's tight but functional. My wife Carla, 36 female, hasn't worked in 7 years. She stopped after our son Nathan was born, said she'd go back eventually. But that train never left the station. I stopped asking about it after year 3. I pick up the bills. She picks up groceries when she remembers. That's the arrangement, I guess. Nathan, 11 male, is smart as hell. Reads manuals and instruction books for fun. Doesn't talk a ton, but he'll go off for 20 minutes if you ask him how a diesel engine works. I raised him to be practical, polite, and alert, especially because he has a severe peanut allergy. I'm talking real severe. Touch contamination can trigger swelling. His throat closes up fast, and if he doesn't get an EpiPen injection within minutes, it's lights out. We don't eat out unless I personally talk to the kitchen. His school nurse has 2 backups. I keep a pack in the glove box. He's never had a full-blown anaphylactic event before, but we've come close. Carla's side of the family never took it seriously. Ever. Her brothers Vic and Danny have made cracks for years. Back in my day, we just toughened up. Or, these allergies are made up by the food companies. Total morons. Especially Vic, 40 male. Vic's unemployed, and somehow still walks around like he's better than everyone. Brags about projects he's working on. Still lives in his mom's basement with a drum set he never learned to play. He once told me he could make 6 figures selling refurbished VCRs if he put the time in. The guy's a walking fantasy novel with dirt under his nails. A week ago, Carla says we're invited to her cousin's annual barbecue. She wants to go. Nathan's invited too. I say no unless they agree to no peanut products anywhere on site. Carla assures me it'll be safe. She already talked to them. Supposedly, everything's nut-free and there's nothing to worry about. I'm not an idiot, so I prep like I always do. I pack our own food in a cooler, sealed burger patties, buns, foil, condiments, and Ziplocs. Nathan wears compression sleeves on his arms because even touching a surface with peanut residue gives him a rash. I bring 2 EpiPens, one clipped to his belt and one in his cargo pocket. We show up early. Their backyard is all folding chairs, plastic tables, and one of those $90 grills from a gas station. Vic is in charge of it. Great. First thing I do is clean a section of the grill myself, cover it with foil, and toss our food on it. Vic watches and mutters, "Paranoid much?" I ignore him. Nathan's sitting off to the side with his plate. Plain burger, bottled water, unopened chip bag. No cross-contamination, no chance for contact. I'm watching the grill when I hear Vic's dumb voice behind me. "Hey Nate, you ever even seen a peanut before?" I turn around. Vic's holding a closed fist and laughing. Then he opens it and throws a handful of shelled peanuts directly at my kid's chest. Nathan flinches and swats them away. A few hit his neck and arms. He starts scratching instantly. His face goes pink, then red. I sprint over, already reaching for the EpiPen on his belt. Gone. I check his pocket. Empty. I grab Vic by the collar and yell, "Where is it?" He just smirks and says, "Relax. I took it earlier. Just wanted to see if the allergy was real." I shove him aside and yell for Carla. She's standing there with her sister, looking like someone dropped a plate. Nobody moves. No one's helping. Vic pulls the EpiPen from his back pocket and tosses it, toward me. It hits the ground and rolls under a folding chair. I get on the ground, grab it, yank the cap, and jam it into Nathan's thigh. He's wheezing now. I hold him upright and call 911 myself, while people just stand around like it's a halftime show. Ambulance shows up 5 minutes later. I ride in with Nathan while they start oxygen and fluids. EMT says if we'd waited any longer, he might not have made it. First full reaction. Worst case scenario. All because some jackass thought he was pulling a prank. We get to the ER. They stabilize him. He's resting. I spend the next 3 hours filing paperwork, answering questions, and calling the pharmacy for replacements. Carla finally shows up at the hospital. Alone. First thing she says, "Are you really pressing charges? He's my brother." Not, "Is Nathan okay?" Not, "What did he do?" Just straight to protecting her brother. I don't say anything. I walk out of the room, down to the nurse's station, and ask them to add Carla's name to the restricted visitor list. Next morning, I head to the local police station with Nathan's medical records, a copy of his allergy diagnosis, the ER report, and a printout of the incident timeline I wrote while everything was fresh. They open a case. The officer says I might be looking at felony charges against Vic. Assault on a minor, obstruction of medical aid, who knows what else. Then I call a lawyer. Not just for Vic, but the whole family. I want damages. Every medical bill, every therapy session, the EpiPens, my missed work, everything. My lawyer looks at the file and says, "Yeah, we can absolutely destroy him in court." I say, "Good, let's." Because from now on, I'm not just protecting Nathan. I'm burning down everyone who stood there and let this happen. Filing the report was easy. Too easy, honestly. The officer didn't blink. I gave him Nathan's diagnosis sheet, the ER report, the EpiPen lot number, timestamps, names, everything. Told him Vic had taken the medication off my kid before, exposing him to the exact thing that could kill him. He didn't even ask for clarification, just nodded and said, "We'll take it from here." Vic got picked up 2 days later. That part I didn't know until the lawyer called me to confirm the timeline. He said they charged him with endangering the welfare of a child, reckless assault, and interference with medical treatment. I told him that was a start. The civil case was a separate deal. My lawyer had the whole thing mapped out. Emergency medical costs, trauma-related follow-up, replacement meds, travel expenses, loss of income from missed shifts, all of it. He even said we could go after punitive damages if we could show Vic acted with malice or intent. He took the EpiPen ahead of time, I said. That's intent. He smiled. Perfect. While that was moving, things at home got stupid. Carla didn't say much the first couple of days after the hospital, just stayed quiet and texted her family nonstop. I'd come back from the pharmacy or calls with the lawyer and find her in the living room glued to her phone. One night, she finally snapped. "I can't believe you're doing this to my brother," she said. I looked at her. "He could have killed our son." She crossed her arms like I'd just insulted her cousin's wedding dress. "He didn't mean to. He was just messing around. You're acting like he had a weapon." I pulled out the printout of Nathan's allergy record. "This is a weapon if you throw peanuts at someone who's deathly allergic. You think this is a joke? He's my brother," she said again. I packed up a duffel bag that night. Nathan and I stayed at a hotel for 3 days. I wasn't going to let him sleep in the same house with someone defending a guy who nearly killed him. Carla didn't text once. On day 4, I came back to grab Nathan's school stuff and get more clothes. Carla was sitting on the couch with her mom and one of her other sisters. Her mom gave me a look like I just kicked her cat. "You're tearing this family apart," she said. "For what? A prank?" I ignored her and walked upstairs. They followed. Her sister asked, "Is this really about the allergy? Or do you just hate Vic?" I didn't answer. I just kept packing. They left before I came back down. 2 hours later, I get a call from Carla's brother Danny, the slightly less dumb one. He opens with, "Look, man, I know Vic went too far, but pressing charges, suing, that's just extreme." "Not your kid," I said. "Stay out of it." That same week, my lawyer sent out the notice of intent to sue. I added Vic, his homeowner's policy, since it happened on his property, and even roped in Carla's mother for egging things on later. We kept it clean and factual. No emotion, just names, actions, damages, dates. Word spread fast. Carla's phone didn't stop buzzing. Her family went full blast on Facebook with stuff like, "Family means forgiveness," and "So sad to see people chasing money over love." Carla came to me again that night. "You're embarrassing me. They're saying I'm married to someone who'd ruin their own family for a payout." I said, "You're married to someone who protects his kid. That's the difference between me and Vic." She cried. That was new, but it didn't change anything. She wasn't sorry. She was just pissed she couldn't control the fallout. The next week, Vic got bailed out. His mugshot hit one of those local crime pages, and people started talking. Carla's family spun a new version of the story online, claiming Nathan had a small rash and that I overreacted. Some said I planted the peanuts myself to create a lawsuit. Total garbage. Meanwhile, Nathan's fine. He's back in school. His arms healed up. I scheduled a follow-up with his allergist just to document everything. My lawyer said the clearer the timeline, the harder it is for them to twist it in court. I started keeping receipts for everything. Meds, gas, time off work, even meals while we were at the hotel. I kept a notebook of every conversation I had with Carla's family. All logged, dated, and signed. Carla tried once more, a week later. She sat me down like we were negotiating a home reno. "Just drop it, please. We'll talk to Vic. He'll apologize." I don't need an apology, I said. I need accountability. What are people going to think of us? She asked. I don't care, I said. I care what they think of him, and what Nathan thinks of me. That night, I emailed my divorce attorney. I didn't tell Carla until the papers were ready. I served Carla on a Thursday morning. Didn't give her a heads up. No heart-to-heart, no drawn-out talk in the kitchen. Just had the process server meet her in the driveway when she went to take out the trash. I sat in my truck with Nathan and watched from across the street. She opened the envelope, flipped through the pages like it was some mistake, then spun around scanning the block. Saw me, stopped cold. I didn't wave. I put the truck in gear and drove off. We had already been out of the house for 10 days at that point. I'd rented a 2-bedroom unit short-term, fully furnished, close to Nathan's school, closer to my job. I didn't pack furniture, just clothes, school supplies, and his medical gear. Everything else could burn for all I cared. The divorce petition wasn't just about separating. I filed for full custody and exclusive medical rights. I included all incident reports, the ER documents, police report, even screenshots from her family calling me a liar online. My lawyer helped stack it airtight. He knew we were going into a war zone. By noon, Carla's brother Danny had posted on Facebook that the devil finally showed his horns. Her cousin Kim made some Instagram story claiming I was mentally unstable and controlling. All of them had something to say, but none of them mentioned what Vic did. Not one word about Nathan or the allergy, just deflection. I filed a restraining order against Vic that same day. No contact with me, no contact with my son, 500 feet minimum at all times. Judge signed off in under 48 hours. My lawyer walked the paperwork through himself. Carla blew up my phone. 46 missed calls in 2 days. I ignored everyone. When I finally did speak to her, it was on speakerphone at my lawyer's office. She called from a blocked number. Her voice was cracked and frantic. You're destroying everything, she said. You're acting like we're the enemy. No, I said. Just your brother. You picked your side. Now I'm picking mine. I didn't throw the peanuts, she said. No, I replied. You just defended the guy who did. That's enough. She started crying again, going on about how hard things were going to be, that her family didn't deserve this, that Nathan would hate me for breaking the home. My lawyer ended the call. Nathan? He never asked to go back. Not once. He liked the apartment, liked how quiet it was, liked that his cousin wasn't barging into his room anymore or calling him soft behind his back. We got into a new routine fast. Up at 6:30. I'd make eggs and toast. He'd pack his lunch. I'd drop him at school, head to the warehouse, check route manifests, handle vendor calls, deal with broken pallets, sign off on inventory reports. Then pick him up. Homework, dinner, sleep. Boring, safe, clean. Just us two. Meanwhile, Vic's case was heating up. My lawyer looped in a private investigator to gather witness statements. Turned out 2 neighbors had seen the incident. One of them even had a Ring doorbell that caught Vic bragging afterward. Thought the kid was faking it. Guess I was wrong. Gold. We subpoenaed the footage. My lawyer said it changed everything. Vic wasn't just reckless. He was willfully negligent, with proof. That opened up a new charge. Reckless assault with prior intent. Felony level. Real teeth. His public defender tried to negotiate, but we didn't budge. Nathan's still got medical bills stacking up, and we hadn't even gotten to the psych evals. Not therapy. Just written assessments required for the civil filing. Every document we filed added zeros to the claim. Carla filed for visitation. Her lawyer made a pitch for joint custody. Claimed I was acting out of anger, using the incident to wield control. My lawyer handed the judge the Ring video. He watched it in silence, then handed it back and said, temporary full custody granted to the father until further review. Carla lost it in court. Screamed. Had to be walked out. I didn't look at her once. From that day, I stopped taking Nathan to the old neighborhood. No more joint visits. No more polite smiles. My son's life had a value, and I was making damn sure they paid it in full. My HR at work gave me flex hours to handle the legal mess. I trained my assistant manager to cover vendor runs and terminal checks. Meanwhile, I picked up a freelance gig managing dispatch software for a small courier service on the side. Tech support hours, all remote. The lawsuit money was coming, but I wasn't going to sit still waiting for it. Nathan started sleeping better. Eating better too. The hives healed up. He joined the robotics club at school. The lead teacher told me he was the only 11-year-old in the district who knew how to write conditional logic in Python. I said, yeah, he's all right. Carla kept pushing. She filed for mediation. Claimed I poisoned Nathan against her. Her lawyer even accused me of staging the peanut incident for sympathy. My lawyer didn't even blink. Just slid the ring footage across the table again. Meeting ended in under 10 minutes. I wasn't backing down, and they knew it now. The court hearing got scheduled for a Friday afternoon. Family court, downtown building with weak AC and metal chairs that felt like punishment. I showed up early, clean shave, button-down shirt, every file we had stacked neatly in my lawyer's briefcase. Nathan wasn't required to be there, and I wasn't about to put him through that circus. He stayed home with my cousin Jack, who was the only one from my side of the family who even knew the full story. Carla walked in late. Red blouse, high heels, makeup like she was headed to an awards show. Her lawyer followed behind, carrying a stack of papers, like it meant something. Vic wasn't there. He wasn't allowed within 500 feet anyway, probably still hiding behind his mother's couch, waiting for his next genius idea to backfire. Judge looked like a guy who'd seen it all. Mid-50s, tired eyes, no patience. He read through the summary packet in about 6 minutes flat, glanced at me, then at Carla. "We're here regarding custody modification, pending permanent status. Both parties present?" My lawyer nodded. Carla's lawyer tried to make some opening pitch, but it flopped fast. They argued that Carla had no role in the incident, that she never encouraged it, and that she'd cooperated with police. My lawyer asked if they'd like to revisit the ring camera footage. They passed. The judge reviewed the original custody motion, the restraining order, the doctor's note detailing Nathan's reaction, and the formal diagnosis. He flipped to the next page and paused. "Is this a sworn statement from the EMT?" "Yes, Your Honor," my lawyer said. He nodded again. "Okay. Mother's counsel, anything else?" Carla stood up, like she was going to give some passionate speech. "I just want my son to know I love him. I never put him in danger. He should be allowed to see both his parents." Judge stared at her. "You stayed in the home for 3 days after your son nearly died and did not seek medical follow-up. You allowed contact between the child and the defendant after the incident, and you continued to publicly defend the person who stole your child's emergency medication. Do I have that correct?" Carla didn't answer. "Full permanent custody awarded to the father," he said. "Visitation is suspended pending psychiatric evaluation and a 6-month review window. Case closed." She sat down without saying a word. After court, I got a call from my lawyer's assistant. The civil suit was now fully docketed. Trial was approved. We were going forward with a formal damages claim. The final breakdown: $4,800 in emergency medical, $1,200 in replacement meds and doctor visits, $6,000 in missed work and relocation, $10,000 in long-term impact claims, and another $15,000 tagged for punitive damages. Total, $37,000 in damages, not including legal fees. And we had receipts for every dollar. Vic's public defender didn't even try to fight it. The minute the ring footage was shown to their side, they moved to settle. But we didn't want to settle. We wanted a judgment on record. We wanted a precedent. Carla's family started showing cracks after that. One of her cousins DM'd me a screenshot of their group chat. Vic had apparently told everyone that the kid faked the whole thing, and that it was just allergies, not real danger. Same guy who watched Nathan collapse and turn blue. Same guy who pocketed the EpiPen like it was a game. The cousin apologized. I didn't reply. Then came the letters. Carla's mom wrote one, 2 pages, handwritten, about how I'd torn their family apart. She claimed Vic didn't understand the risks, and that boys play rough. I mailed it back, unopened. Her dad emailed me too. Just one line. "Hope you're proud of yourself." I was. The money started hurting them next. Carla's mom had co-signed Vic's bail bond. Court fees stacked. Then the civil suit notices hit their mailbox. They panicked. Vic started talking about filing bankruptcy. Carla asked if I'd consider dropping the financial side just for the family's sake. I told her she had no family anymore, not in mine. Meanwhile, Nathan was thriving. He'd stopped scratching his arms at night. No more welts, no more rashes. His allergist said the reduced exposure alone was doing wonders. His robotics club built a programmable rover, and Nathan led the coding. He even asked to bring it to court to show the judge. I told him not yet, but soon. My boss at the freight hub offered me a raise and bumped me to senior operations. Said I'd handled the last month like a machine. I appreciated that. I took the raise, picked up a used Ford F-150 for myself, and used the rest to put a down payment on a new house. 3 bedrooms, 1 office, 0 nonsense. The day the court sent Vic the official damages notice, I got a text from Carla. "You're really going to make my brother pay that much?" Then I got a call from her lawyer. They wanted to reopen visitation. Said Carla was in therapy now and deserved a chance. My lawyer laughed during the call and said, Sure, we'll see you in 6 months. Don't miss the psych eval. The best part? The court assigned Vic's wages to be garnished. Every paycheck he gets from whatever garbage job he picks up, 20% goes to us. For years. His credit's wrecked. His name's tagged. He's listed in the registry for child endangerment. The same guy who thought allergies were a joke. Now he's got a permanent record, a court-ordered debt, and zero chance of renting without a cosigner. That's what I call equal value. The first garnishment check hit my account on a Monday, $142.63. Not much in the grand scheme, but it felt right. Like Vic's stupidity was finally costing him something real. I printed the statement and stuck it in a folder labeled Restitution Monthly. Nathan saw it and asked what it meant. I said, "It means dumb decisions cost money." He nodded and went back to soldering wires for his robotics project. That same week, Carla filed for emergency visitation again. Her lawyer argued she was in therapy, emotionally stable, and ready to rebuild her relationship with her son. She hadn't completed a psych evaluation. She hadn't acknowledged a single thing Vic did. And she hadn't gone more than 3 days without posting on her little Facebook group about how broken families need healing. My lawyer filed a response. We attached screenshots of her social media posts mocking the lawsuit, defending Vic, and tagging me in garbage memes about overprotective parents. The judge didn't even schedule a hearing. He denied it on the spot. I framed the order and hung it on the fridge next to Nathan's perfect spelling test. That's when things got even messier. Carla's cousin Kim messaged me. Said she wanted to talk about all the damage I was causing. I ignored it. A day later, Carla herself texted me from a new number. "I'm sorry. I miss you. I miss Nathan. Can we meet for coffee?" I didn't respond. She sent 3 more messages that week, all pretending none of it happened. No mention of the court, no mention of Vic. Just nostalgia and guilt bait. Then she showed up at Nathan's school. Middle of the day, no warning, walked into the front office and said she was there to drop off something for her son. Staff recognized her, but didn't let her near him. They called me right away. I left work, drove straight there, and had a calm, direct conversation with the principal. She was now banned from the school unless I personally approved it in writing. That night, I forwarded the security report to my lawyer. We attached it to the custody file. 2 days later, the judge signed an addendum, banning all unapproved contact from her. No texts, no social media, no running into us at events. She'd violated the custody agreement, and now it was legally tight. She tried calling Nathan using a mutual friend's phone a week after that. Kid didn't answer. Told me about it afterward. I don't want to talk to her. She didn't stop him. And that was the end of it for him. Meanwhile, Vic tried to claim hardship exemption to avoid further garnishment. Said he was unable to sustain employment because of the stress of the lawsuit. Claimed defamation. Claimed PTSD. Even filed some half-baked motion to overturn the settlement. My lawyer crushed it in under 5 pages. We submitted the ring footage again. Attached hospital photos. Attached the text Vic sent 2 days after the barbecue. He didn't even die, what's the big deal? Judge denied his motion, then increased garnishment to 25%. Garnish stays active until paid in full, or until he dies. His lawyer quit 2 days later. Couldn't blame him. Now every time Vic gets a check, I get a slice. Whether it's stocking shelves or sweeping floors, the debt follows him like a shadow. Carla's family started turning on each other. I started getting DMS and anonymous tips from people I didn't even know. Her aunt posted on Facebook about generational curses and the dangers of blind loyalty. Her cousin deleted all his photos with Vic. One of her brothers tried to get my lawyer's name, probably to countersue me or something equally dumb. Never happened. The best one? I got a call from a reporter at a local paper. Small-town publication, nothing national, but someone tipped them off. The reporter asked if I'd be willing to give a statement about the incident and court case for a column on allergy awareness and legal consequences. I said no comment, but the article ran anyway. Didn't name names, but included enough to make it clear who it was about. Child nearly dies at family cookout. Relative charged. Custody awarded to father. Financial penalties issued. Carla's side lost it. Claimed I fed the press. They blamed me for the exposure, for the comments, for people in their neighborhood giving them side eyes at the grocery store. Not my problem. At this point, I'd moved into a house. Bought it outright with a personal loan I'll have paid off in 2 years, thanks to the raise and Vic's monthly contributions. 3 bedrooms, a solid garage, backyard with a fence. Nathan has the biggest room. I turned the spare into a workshop. He's building a drone now. Says he wants to compete in a junior tech competition next summer. We've got routines, simple ones. quiet ones. Friday nights, we order takeout from the one nut-free kitchen I trust. Saturdays, we build stuff. Sundays, we hit the park. He hasn't mentioned Carla in over a month. The final court date came quicker than expected. Just a review to finalize everything and make it permanent. Judge looked at the file, stamped it, and said, "Father retains sole custody. Visitation revoked. Financial judgment stands. Defendant is permanently restricted from all contact." That was that. Carla didn't show. Vic's broke. Her entire side of the family stays silent now, probably hoping it all fades into the background. But I don't forget. I don't forget how they laughed, how they covered for him, how they downplayed what happened like my kid's life was a test run. And now, they're paying for it. Every month, every check, every time Vic gets docked for minimum wage, they broke it. I didn't just fix it. I charged interest. By March, everything was locked. The final custody order, the garnishments, the no-contact clauses. Carla hadn't seen Nathan in 4 months, and I planned to keep it that way for the rest of her life. I was done, moved on. But just when I thought the story had peaked, life handed me a perfect final chapter. No planning, no setup, just brutal, poetic timing. Let me rewind a second. There's a woman named Melanie. She used to be part of Carla's friend circle. They'd hang out, do brunches, talk trash about people they pretended to like. Melanie was the quiet one. Smart. Never joined in on the drama. I always liked her, mostly because she was one of the few people in Carla's orbit who didn't try to tell me how to parent. After everything blew up, Melanie reached out, sent a short message through mutual friends, just said, "I'm sorry about what happened. If you ever need help with anything, let me know." I didn't respond right away, but weeks later, I ran into her at the hardware store. We talked. She asked how Nathan was doing. I told her about his robotics projects, how he was learning to weld with a supervised kit I bought. She smiled, said, "That's a good dad move." It stuck with me. Fast forward a few more meetups, a few coffees. She helped me build shelves in Nathan's workshop. Turned out she knew how to use power tools better than most guys I've worked with. Never posted photos, never asked questions about Carla, never made it weird. We started dating low-key. No announcements, no couple pics, just kept things simple and private. Nathan liked her immediately, said she was calm, said she listened. Then word got out. Carla's cousin spotted us at the grocery store. 2 days later, Carla texted me from yet another burner number. "Are you serious? Melanie, out of everyone?" Blocked. Melanie told me Carla always hated her. Said she was too perfect, too boring, judgmental. Funny how the one person Carla trashed the most is the one helping raise her son now. Her family spiraled. One of her sisters posted online that I was dating out of spite. Another said Melanie was never really part of the circle and always wanted what Carla had. All lies, all desperation. And it only got worse for them. Vic's wages kept getting docked. He picked up a warehouse job, lasted 3 weeks, got let go for attendance issues, tried working at a car wash. Same thing. The court added a delinquency fee when he missed 2 payments. Now he owes interest on top of the original amount. Carla's mom ended up co-signing for one of his payment plans, trying to keep him out of jail. Big mistake. When Vic missed his 3rd court-ordered payment, they went after her next. Now she's got a lien on her house for co-liability. Imagine defending your grown son while he gets legally choked out by court-ordered restitution. That's what she gets for writing that letter about boys playing rough. Meanwhile, Carla's living back in her childhood room. Her parents won't let her bring guys over. She lost her car a few months back, repoed after missing 6 payments. Uber's not cheap in our area. Her only job is doing assistant work at her cousin's failing hair salon. They barely pull enough to cover payroll. Her Facebook went quiet. No more spiritual quotes. No more passive-aggressive memes. Just silence. Melanie and I moved into a bigger place. Not for flash, just more space for Nathan's growing hobbies. He's deep into 3D printing now. Wants to design parts for drones. We built a workspace in the garage. Melanie helps him solder. I handle the coding side. Nathan's school nominated him for a regional STEM award. His teacher pulled me aside one afternoon and said, "Whatever you're doing at home, it's working. He's thriving. No therapy, no talks about feelings, just structure, safety, and no one throwing peanuts at him." A month later, Carla tried one last move. She mailed a handwritten letter to my office. No envelope name, just a plain white letter that somehow made it through screening. It said, "You've ruined everything. I lost my family, my job, my home. You turned Nathan against me. You're flaunting Melanie just to twist the knife. You don't know what it's like to be isolated, to be hated. I wish I had never introduced you to my world. You think you're winning, but God sees everything. You'll get what's coming eventually. I passed it to my lawyer. He attached it to the custody file and logged it as continued emotional harassment. We didn't even respond, just added another layer of legal insulation around our lives. That was her final gasp, her last play, and it failed like all the rest. Meanwhile, Vic now delivers packages part-time. I confirmed it through a public search. Garnishment still active. His credit score's in the basement. One of Carla's other brothers tried to get a small business loan recently. Denied after Vic's case flagged their co-owned address in the background check. Apparently, being related to a guy who tried to kill a kid doesn't look good to lenders. Their family gatherings? Word is they don't even hold them anymore. Too much tension. Too many people blaming each other for letting it go that far. Carla's mom hasn't posted photos of a barbecue in months, probably too busy trying to keep her name off court records. And me? I sleep like a brick. I work, come home, help Nathan with his projects, grill steaks with Melanie on weekends, and pay every bill on time. No noise, no drama. Nathan's got a science fair next month. He's presenting a mini robotic arm that can lift soda cans. Melanie helped him with the build. I helped with the programming. The title of the project? Fail-safe? How to protect what matters. Couldn't have said it better myself.